Burnett being in love with the masked royal is so strange, especially considering that she thinks it's a different person than Kukui. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, episode 92 of the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime has just dropped, and it is a Masked Royal episode. So, let's look at it. The episode begins with the Masked Royal winning another Battle Royal match. He beats the team of the Mad Boober and Magmortar. Mad Boober says that he will get his revenge later and runs away. Then, Masked Royal turns to the crowd and lets them know that he will be going on a tour to meet his fans. First stop, Melee Melee Island, specifically at the shopping mall. We then cut to the locker room, where the Masked Royal takes off his mask and we're shown as Kukui, if you didn't already know. Then, Kukui gets home and is greeted with excitement from Ash and Burnett, who are really excited to meet Royal Mask. And Burnett really wants to meet him together, and this puts Kukui at a predicament. Kukui up against the wall, another Masked Royal. After the intro, we cut to the Hokulani Observatory where Kukui is trying to get some advice from Molayne. He tells him about his predicament. Apparently, Burnett really wants to meet the Masked Royal with him. Molayne asks how she hasn't figured it out yet, and Kukui lets him know that there have been a few times where she's been close to figuring it out, but so far she hasn't figured it out. He also lets us know that he doesn't want to crush her dreams about having both Kukui and the Masked Royal in her life separately. Molayne then comes up with a plan. When it comes time for Burnett to meet the Masked Royal, Kukui will slip inside and Molayne will change into the Masked Royal. He'll then pretend to be the Masked Royal for a while, meet Burnett, and then go back and then switch places with the Kukui again. Here's the thing, and it's going to be addressed later in the episode, but Kukui's tan. Molayne is as white as snow. He's not muscular enough to pull off being the Masked Royal. Did no one think this plan through for more than just a second? We then cut to the mall, and Burnett and Ash are there. It looks like they redecorated the mall to look like the Royal Dome. Molayne comes up behind Burnett and lets her know that Kukui asked her to accompany her until Kukui got there. She seems kinda embarrassed by this, and then along with Ash, goes inside the mall to find their place. We then cut to Team Rocket in their food truck. It looks like they aren't selling anything today, and they're thinking of closing up. Then, James says he's gonna go on a break, and leaves very quickly. We later find out that James is a massive Masked Royal fan. We cut inside the mall, and we see the Masked Royal and Incineroar do some of their moves on a dummy Poliwhirl. This causes Ash's Torracat to jump out before Pikachu catches him. They let Torracat know that he can't do that today. Kukui is doing some more moves on some more dummies when we see James fanboying over him. Faba, who's beside him, tells him to quiet down before they recognize each other, presumably from the Neolego arc. They decide not to discuss that, however. Instead, Faba notices that James is wearing a Masked Royal t-shirt that's a super rare limited edition one. James says that he got it after waiting in line for 3 days. James then asks how he knows it's so rare when Faba pulls out his coat and we see that he also has the same shirt on. They surmise that they must be kindred spirits and talk about how they first became fans of the Masked Royal. Apparently, it was during the match against the Revengers, which was in episode 81. Nice bit of continuity there. After the demonstration ends, the Masked Royal announces that the meet and greet has begun. Burnett is super nervous, which is shown when her heart rate is starting to spike. She comments that this is why she wanted Kukui to come with her, and asks why Kukui is so late. The meet and greet goes on, and it's Ash's turn to meet the Masked Royal. That means Burnett is next, and Molayne and Kukui look at each other. It's time to execute their plan. Before Burnett can meet him, the Masked Royal announces that he's going to take a little break and heads to the back. Molayne does the same thing and leaves. Everyone's trying to figure out what's happening there. James says that he has to hurry because Jessie's waiting on him and she'll be upset if he doesn't get back in time. This is where Faba decides to let him know that he knows the Masked Royal personally and that they might be able to meet him backstage and get his autograph. We cut to the backstage and Kukui hands Molayne his mask. Molayne lets him know that by doing this, he's depriving Burnett of meeting the real Masked Royal. Kukui knows this, but he doesn't know what to do. Then Molayne reminds him that he needs to go meet with Burnett and Ash. So he goes on his way. Around the same time, Faba and James are backstage trying to find the Masked Royal. They see Molayne go into the locker room with the mask. At first, they think he's a fanboy, but then they realize he has the real Masked Royal mask. How? Apparently, the new mask has a slightly larger horn and more space around the mouth to breathe. Man, they really are fanboys. Mullane is about to wear the Masked Royal costume. He realizes he looks nothing like the real Masked Royal, but he's going to help his friend as need regardless. This is when Faba and James come up behind him and grab him. Who's that Pokemon? It's Magneton! Everyone is waiting around when Kukui catches up with Ash and Burnett. They discuss the fact that the Masked Royal has been on break for a little while. This is when the Mad Boober, the dude from the beginning of the episode, returns for his revenge. Backstage, James and Faba have Mullane tied up for stealing the Royal Mask's sacred mask, as they call it. Each of them then says that they will take care of it, and now they're fighting over the mask. That's when they hear a loud screech. Back at the meet and greet, the Mad Boober is causing havoc. He says that he's taken everyone hostage and threatens to use Fire Punch and destroy the tent they're in if the Masked Royal doesn't come out and fight. James and Faba see this from the backstage. Faba then sees Kukui out there and he knows the deal. He says that even if the Masked Royal wanted to, he couldn't come out because they have both his mask and his Pokemon. So they decide to take action. James comes out as an announcer. He introduces the Masked Royal. Who is it? It's pale-skinned Faba wearing the Masked Royal mask. Everyone can see through this facade. He even tries to get the crowd to say enjoy and just gets a half-hearted response. Even the Mad Boober is too shocked to say anything. Then Faba gets in the ring and gets Incineroar out to fight, who also notices that the Masked Royal is not Kukui, but Faba. Regardless, Faba says to use Darkest Lariat, and it does, which is countered by the Magmortar using Fling, which sends Incineroar flying towards Faba and both of them out of the ring. Mad Boober then says that the Masked Royal is a fraud and that he's scared for sending out a fake like this. This is when Burnett speaks up. She says that the Masked Royal is not a coward. He's the kindest, coolest person in Alola. Everyone then starts chanting for the Masked Royal. However, Kukui still can't switch out in front of everyone. This is when the lights go off. Mullane uses his Magneton to shut off the light and then lets Kukui know that this is the perfect time for them to put his mask on and that he'll explain everything later. The lights come back on and the Masked Royal is in the ring ready to fight. Magmortar then uses Fire Punch and the Masked Royal counters by using the Incineroarium Z and obliterating Magmortar in one hit. Mad Boober then runs away like he did at the beginning of the episode, vowing revenge. Everyone cheers on the Masked Royal for winning. Burnett almost faints from seeing him. This is when he comes up to her and tells her thank you, which makes her even more of a fan and blush. Then it looks like it's the end of the meet and greet. We see Ash and Burnett leaving happy. Kukui then comes up behind them and apologizes for not seeing them meet the Masked Royal. Burnett is a little upset, but she's way too overjoyed about meeting the Masked Royal and him telling her thank you. Kukui just smiles, and then they walk off into the sunset. We cut to Faba still knocked out from the battle when he wakes up suddenly, thinking that the match is still going on. He then realizes that everyone has left. He looks at his shirt and realizes the Masked Royal has autographed it, and he gets super excited and yells, "Yahoo!" That ends the episode. The after credits scene is one where James enthusiastically is advertising Team Rocket's donuts, and that's also because he also got the Masked Royal's autograph. Overall, I actually liked this episode a lot more than I thought I would. I usually don't like the Masked Royal episodes that much, but this one was fun since it focused more on the characters and the interaction surrounding the Masked Royal. In fact, if this was your first episode, you wouldn't be able to tell that Ash was even the main character because he's so uninvolved with the entire plot. It was a very fun episode because we got to see the more personable side of Kukui and Burnett, which is always fun to see. Next episode seems to be about our hero gang doing a theater show where everyone is dressed up as certain Pokemon. The animation on it looks very nice with blocky Pokemon designs as Pokemon costumes. And while I don't understand this, everyone is excited because apparently the show points homage to a show called Utena. So that'll be fun to see. But anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at TheRealPDGaming. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.